I saw this thread on X, formerly known as Twitter, made by Semota, popularly known as Big Chief in the African community, talking about how, if we had noticed that he no longer talks about retail investment, and that's because he has learned that you cannot invest your way to wealth. I agree with him to some extent because the people that are become billionaires today or multimillionaires in dollars are people that have created products or services that a whole lot of people consume. So I always say that if you want to become a billionaire, you have to solve a problem that a lot of people would give you money in exchange for the solution you have provided for them, or a service that you can sell to a few people but is high priced. You just need to sell something, right? So that's why I agree with him. But however, not every one of us can do business. Not every one of us have the time to do business. Some of us are salaried earners, so we work 8 to 5 on a daily basis. We don't even have the attention span to think about entrepreneurship, to think about starting a business. In fact, some of us have even tried and failed. So what can we do other than investing? There's nothing else. The only option that we have is to invest, because if you do not invest, at some point your salary is going to stop. At 60, if you are in private sector, if you're in the public sector, maybe you're a lecturer, at 70, you would have to retire. So the only option we have as salaried earners, as individuals that cannot build a business, as individuals that cannot get into entrepreneurship, is to invest. And now, this is what I always tell people: you cannot be investing sparingly. It's written in the scripture. If you sow sparingly, you reap sparingly. If you invest bountifully, you invest bountifully. This is why in your very young age, in your early 20s, in your 30s, you have to be an aggressive investor. You should be investing 40 to 60% of your income on a monthly basis. This is why I often say that investing is a marathon and not a sprint, because you cannot invest one time. The one time that you invest 1 million naira in a treasury bills or in bonds and you think you have done it for the year, no. You have to keep on investing. As long as you get paid every month, you should be investing every month, because that's the only option that you have. And now maybe later in the future, you might want to go into entrepreneurship. Then you can now consolidate all of the assets that you have bought, sell some of them, and that will be your seed capital into starting that business, instead of leaving the money following your bank account. So a friend of his came to tell him that he had $50,000 to invest, and Big Chief told him that he should go and find a way to make more money from that similar deal, or he should find more friends to get such kind of deal. So he didn't even tell him what to do with the 50k. Now some persons now might decide to use that 50k to go and start up a new venture that they don't have knowledge about, they don't have expertise about, and that money goes away. So for those of us that do not have the knowledge, that do not have the capacity, that do not have the expertise, that do not have the attention span, that do not have the time, that don't have the energy, till tomorrow, I would recommend that you invest. Invest in opportunities that have potential to increase your capital over time. Consider stocks, high risks, of course, then balance out with bonds that is low risks. Have a balanced portfolio, because that's the other option that you have. Some of us, to start our career maybe in the banking sector or in any of those multinationals that pay very well, you could start off maybe with 500 or 600k per month, and then over time, say after 5 years, you get promoted, your income can increase to 1 million or to 1.5 million, and then you move up to middle level management, and then your income doubles, and then you move to senior management. Before you can even become a director. Look at the current MD of Zenith Bank today. She started off her career as a NYSC graduate. Imagine at that time, maybe she was earning maybe 60k or 70k when she started. If she started investing a little of her income, maybe 10 to 20%, and as she moved up the ladder in her career, she will now be able to invest more, because this is why I always talk about percentage and not an amount. If you earn 300,000 today and you are able to invest 20 to 40% or even 50% of that income every month, that's about 150k. If your income increases to 500k, that automatically becomes 250k. If your income increases to 1 million naira, that automatically becomes 500k. So the little amount that it seems to you today that you are investing you shouldn't pay attention to it. Pay attention to the habits you are cultivating, because he that is faithful in little is going to be faithful in much. Once you have built that system, once you already understand the game of investing, when you start earning more money, that's not the time you're going to start looking for where to invest. You already know where to invest. You already know how to make your money work for you. So you just put more money into that system and the money grows. Now, this is my recommendation for those in business. Invest in your business, right? You make money from your business, put it back. You might not buy more products. Maybe what you need to do is to employ more experienced hands, maybe create a better system, structure, inventory software, or marketing tools, or HR tools to just structure your business. Think of how you can optimize your business to make more money. But if you're not a businessman, you're a freelancer, think of how you can invest in other people's business. That's why we have the stock markets. If you're a salaried earner, think of how you can invest in other people's business. Structured businesses, established businesses, not businesses of your family and friends. There is always upside with investing in family and friends businesses, because you can make, higher ROI in a shorter time. However, the higher the reward, the higher the risk. So don't become too greedy that you take all of the money that you have and go and put it in an investment that you don't understand, or go and put it in a business that you don't understand. Consider starting from the known to the unknown. Don't be in a hurry to build wealth, guys. Right? You are a salary earner. Don't be in a hurry to build wealth. Business people can take risks. They can invest 10 million in a particular business and it goes to zero. They can try again the following month and then recover. But you are a salaried earner. You already know what you're going to earn from now to the end of the year. Even if you are promoted within the year, it can be a maximum of 30% increase. So your salary is fixed. You can't be taking risks like a businessman. I can't say this thing better than I've said it. But what I have to say in essence is that it is not true that you cannot invest your way to wealth. You can. There's a story on social media I saw of a woman that was able to accumulate 1 billion naira in assets. She didn't really invest so much in stocks. It was bonds, commercial papers, treasury bills, and she was able to, and real estate, and she was able to build 1 billion naira in assets. So you can build wealth. Wealth is relative. For some people, wealth is 10 billion. For some people, wealth is 100 billion. For some people, wealth is over 1 billion. So as long as in your old age, you're not depending on anybody for means of survival, you have done beautifully well. So we might not be able to invest to get to that multi-billion status, but we'll be able to provide for our future needs. That's the goal. So we don't have to depend on anybody for survival. If this makes sense to you, please like and share so that other people can watch and begin their investment journey.